Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching this channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because in this channel we discuss everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So, for that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I just want to let everybody know that we are currently live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter through Periscope. And as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all my supporters, all those who are part of what I call the uncommon folk. Those are people who support and watch this channel on a regular basis. And I'm happy to say that within the last 24 hours, I've gained 11 subscribers. So I just want to say thank you very much for all those who have been faithfully allowing me to enter into your devices so I can share what little wisdom I have. Now, what I'm going to do is for those of you who have not done so, I'm going to ask that you please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do prepare content, you will have the opportunity to either watch it live or to catch it on the playback. I suspect that most people will be watching this on the playback, which is perfectly fine with me. Also, I just want to encourage anyone, if they wish, they can enter a comment in the chat. Just try to keep it positive, please. Also, after the stream is over, you're more than welcome to share your comments as well. Now, the topic for tonight is, are we returning to the bad old days of the 1970s? And let me explain to you why we're having this discussion. Um, in many of our cities, there's been an uptick as far as the criminal activity is concerned. That is especially the case here in New York, where I reside. There's been an uptake in many crimes. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so I can give you some data to support what I am saying. Okay. Now, sometimes it takes a while for it to pop up. Uh, okay. What I'm going to do, okay, here. Now, this is something that I received from the NYPD website. And what they're talking about is the crime statistical data for the month of April 2022. And this was published on May the 3rd, which was approximately 3 weeks ago. So I'm just going to read to you what it says. For the month of April 2022, New York City saw a 30% decrease in homicides, which is 31 versus 50, and a 29.1% drop in shooting incidents, 105 versus 148 compared to April 21. Overall index crime increased by 34.2% in April 2022 compared to the same period a year ago. 9,463 crimes versus 7,051. A total driven by a 43.5% increase in grand larceny, 3,867 versus 2,694, and a 41.5% increase in robbery, which is 1,261 versus 891. Burglaries also increased by 39.4%, which is 1,209 versus 867 in April 2022 compared to last year. NYP officers affected 49.6 arrests across the 7 major crime index categories. I'm not going to read you the data because I think you can see it, including 370 arrests for illegal gun possession, which is 146 more gun arrests than the same period of the year, a 64.6% increase. And then I'm just going to read to you what was said regarding from our commissioner. The women and men of the NYPD are making notable headway towards our enhanced patrol deployment both on the street and below the ground on the subway system. A concentrated effort to make even more illegal firearms taken out of the hands of criminals. And renewed attention to persistent quality of life offenses guided directly by complaints of the people we serve, Police Commissioner Kenshin L. Sewell said. Throughout the 5 boroughs, the NYPD remains focused on the relatively small number of people responsible for much of this New York City crime disorder. And what I'm showing you is some statistical data. So murder is down 31 compared to 50. I mean, it's hard to believe, but okay. Rape is sexual assault, because you got to be careful of what you say on YouTube, is down slightly. Robbery is up. Felony assault is up. Burglary is up. Grand larceny is up. And as you can see, the total number of crimes committed for the month of April 2022 is 9,463 compared to 7,051 of last year. So what we're going to do is we're going to park it here. Okay. Okay. Now, unfortunately, there's been a lot of crime in the news, and people are scared, and rightfully scared, because you hear every day about this person getting mugged, this person getting killed, this person getting thrown on supper trucks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another article. Just give me a moment. If I can find it. Okay. Now this is okay. Just give me a moment. I'm going to share with you something that happened recently. If my Wi-Fi cooperates. Just give me a moment.
victims are, Lisa.
Okay. I'm going to I'm going to share my screen again. Oh, great. Just bear with me for a moment. Good evening. Okay. Good evening, K-Fit Now. Thank you very much for stopping by. You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. I'll try to visit your platform with your father more often. Okay. Now, this. Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a moment.
Well, Lori and Steve, you cannot overstate the amount of grief and outrage over this murder. This is a community of many hardworking families now in doubt about whether they can protect their own children from reckless gun violence that is so unpredictable and deadly, each standing right next to them. The grief-stricken family of 11-year-old Kiara Tay set up a memorial with their favorite balloons on a scooter late Monday afternoon.
We're talking about 11 years old girl with a whole future. Our whole family is devastated with this loss. Like, this point, we cannot bring her back. But we want somebody to say something. Please, please, please. Say something, you know.
The NYPD released surveillance video that shows two individuals on a scooter on Fox Street. The passenger but missed his target. The bullet traveled half a block and then hit Kiara Tay in the abdomen. She ran to the alarm where customers tried to help her until the EMTs arrived.
It was because we didn't know if it was on her leg or her chest, so she stopped responding, and I was like, remove her sweater, and then we saw like was there, and she ended up putting pressure on her stomach until the ambulance got there.
That I got a call for a gunshot. I came, I responded. Once I got here, she was inside actually, so we got her outside, and then that's when we found out she was a child. We got her onto the ambulance, started our pre-hospital care, and I got her to drive, so I got the hospital as I slept good.
Kiara Tay called herself a proud Camborican because her father is Cambodian and her mother is Puerto Rican. As a vigil to the girl, pleading for anyone with information to come forward.
We're talking about a child that was just full of life. You and me can die right now, but 11 years old? No, with a whole future. We just want justice for Kiara.
Now, after the school Pictures of Kiara's classmates brought them here to the vigil to say a prayer, to mourn. It was so age. Now, so far, police have made no arrests, but they do have an idea. All you need to do is call 1-800-577-TIPS. We'll back to you.
All right, thanks, Lisa.
Okay.
And the victims.
Okay, we're gonna pause. Now, okay. 7-year-old, a victim of gun. You're just beginning life. And of course, I can just imagine the grief that the parents are dealing with the death of this 11-year-old. Okay, and it just brings to mind what happened earlier in Texas, where this individual gunned down with, now they're saying 20 children after allegedly killing his grandmother. I mean, unfortunately, that is the state of affairs that we're living in today. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share one more article. Just give me a moment, because I'm okay. Now, and of course, as always, want to add any further comments in the chat, by all means do so. I see here that there are currently 3 people watching this stream, and I just want to just give me a moment. Please bear with me. Well, that's what happened when things like this happen live. Sometimes there are technical difficulties beyond your control. Okay, what I'm going to do is Okay, I apologize. I apologize. I'm here. It's just I'm having some I'm having some difficulty with the Wi-Fi again. Now I'm gonna see if I can just bear with me. Okay. You know what? I am not going to share this the next thing because my Wi-Fi is acting up, and I don't want to make this into an extended stream. But let me just give you my thoughts. Um, we're living in dangerous times. I mean, we hear every day about someone getting shot. We hear about every day about someone getting hurt. We hear about someone getting killed or what have you. And you really got to be vigilant. Yes, I'm okay. It's just that my having technical difficulties beyond my control. But but again, we are living in dangerous times, and you have to be vigilant. You have to be mindful of your surroundings. And what do I mean by that? First, on the subway, don't get so close to the who would love to the tracks. Also, as you're walking, as you're crossing the street, make sure that you're fully alert, meaning you don't have headphones on listening to your smartphones or iPads or what have you. Also, be mindful of where you are. Do not go into unlit areas. Always be vigilant. Okay. So this is the times that we are living in, and what's the solution? I mean, okay, the solution is the following: do what you can to try to make yourself less of a target. Meaning, for example, you don't care, you don't put your wallet, you don't put your cell phone in your back pocket because that makes it too easy for people to pickpocket. Also, do not sleep on the subway. Sometimes we're tired and we're on the way home or our destination because we had a long day, and of course there's always the temptation to catch a nap on the train or the bus. The problem is someone could pick your wallet um, without you knowing. Also, you might end up missing your stop. So, and if you're going to travel at night, if you can, take a cab or an Uber or Lyft or what have you. And when you get home, make sure you lock your doors. Now, I was going to drop the link if there was any activity. I see that there's not too much activity today, so therefore I'm not going to drop the link. I do want to say that I get it that most people will watch this on the playback, which is perfectly fine with me. Um, that being said, I discussed this yesterday. I'm going to discuss it again. On Sunday's stream, we're going to be talking about obsession with concepts. And the reason why we're having this discussion is because of the fact that unfortunately, we have certain YouTube creators that are constantly talking about the same concepts again, again, and again. And it could be very repetitious. Now, I do see that there are two people watching this stream. I just want to say thank you very much for your patience. Um, so I'm going to be live on Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Of course, what I'm going to do is I will send the link to the people that I normally will send the link. Hopefully, some of you will be able to participate. I really would appreciate it. Now, if you cannot, you can always watch it on the playback. But I just want to say that I do appreciate the fact that within a 24-hour period, I've gained 11 subscribers. So I really appreciate it very much. You don't know how happy it makes me feel that there are people that enjoy my content. So, being that there's no one else that's going to watch the stream, I'm going to begin to wrap this up. Now, I just want to let everybody know that next week I am not going to have a stream during the week. And the reason why, because I'm going to be preparing for the stream, which will take place. Let me just give you the date exactly. Just give me a moment. Which will be Sunday, June the 5th. Um, and the topic, just give me a moment, because I want to make sure that I give the correct information. Excuse me. Okay, the topic is going to be what will we do if Roe versus Wade is overturned? Now, this has been a hotly debated situation for many years, and there are many people who have different views. You have those who are in favor of reproductive rights, and then you have those who are in favor of life beginning in conception. So, what we're going to be doing on Sunday, June the 5th, we're going to be discussing what is the most likely scenarios that will occur should Roe v. Wade be overturned. And also, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be providing some resources to those women who, for whatever reason, gotten an abortion and want to deal with counseling dealing with the aftermaths. Let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not going to shame anyone or embarrass anyone that got an abortion, because that was a difficult decision, and that's something that we do have to bear in mind. And let's take a look. I think there's a comment. Okay. Okay, I see my. Just give me a moment because. Good evening, 18th letter. It's always a pleasure to see you. Okay. So as I was stating, we're not going to embarrass and shame, or we're not going to pass judgment, because one thing to bear in mind, it's easy to pass judgment on anything that you're not going through. It's another thing when you are going through the situation, and at the risk of sounding preachy, you know, the fact of the matter is, what would we do if we were in similar situations? So that's something we need to bear that in mind. And the last thing we need to do is to embarrass anyone. So that's gonna be the discussion. Now, I did ask someone to co-host with me. Hopefully, the individual will be available. If not, then I'll be the sole host, and I'll just conduct it accordingly. So that being said, I just want to say thank you very much for all those who have supported this channel. I want to thank all those 11 people who felt comfortable with my content to subscribe to my channel. And of course, I'm going to close the same way that I always close. Do not let the errors of the past damage your future. And we must do everything possible to minimize our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged. Because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. So this has been another live stream of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Wishing all of you a good night. Take care and peace out.
Strong. Be strong.